here again. I'm Dr. Nancy Iankowitz, and this is Dr. Daniel Cohen. I'm a family nurse practitioner. Dr. Cohen is a psychologist, and we are continuing with our fireside chat. The topic today, are you who you are because of or in spite of your upbringing? So, we all know that you and I both have patients who are trying to recover from what was a toxic for them upbringing. And we deal with the questions regarding how proud people are of themselves with the choices that they make, and how hard people try to forgive their parents or whoever raised them by making poor choices themselves. So that if somebody has a morbidly obese parent or a parent who is a chain smoker, and the person grows up very unhappy with all of that, the person might find herself or himself actually becoming the compulsive eater or the smoker or something else that might be self-destructive. There's a lot of guilt surrounding that. So we also know that those are ways of forgiving parents, but it's trying to have compassion for parents in a very unhealthy way. So what do you recommend, and what wisdom do you have to offer regarding are you who you are because of or in spite of your upbringing, and what are you doing to make healthy choices going forward?
A question that covers a variety of areas. First, the recognition that you are behaving or responding pardon me, from the child part of you, and then recognizing that you are adopting the kinds of qualities in your parents that you really didn't care for, didn't want, and really don't appreciate. So the question is, why for both situations? Why remain in a child framework? And second, why continue along with those issues that you had found so upsetting as a child? The answer can be varied. If you are able to recognize that you can be centered, that you can be your own adult, and at the same time recognize you are adopting or accepting those toxic areas or toxic actions or behavior that your parents exhibited. The question you need to ask yourself is, are you doing this to honor your parents, or are you doing this so as not to kill your parents? What do I mean?
Yeah. Let's hear this.
If you take a look at behavior that is exhibited by your parents, and it's not really worthy of them either, because they didn't have the smarts, the knowledge, the background, the experience to do better, or because, for whatever their reasons, this is what they elected to do. If you are going to neutralize that as your own adult,
breaking the pattern, not perpetuating a pattern.
Breaking that pattern, symbolically, you're killing your parents.
So let me just clarify. So what you're saying is that if you were raised in a way that didn't agree with your spirit, but once you grow up as an adult, you start choosing the behavior that's self-destructive or whatever, you are trying to reconcile your disagreement with your parents. But if you choose not to follow in your parents' footsteps, on a subconscious level, the child or the negative, automatic negative thoughts, Dr. Daniel, amen, in Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, great book. But the automatic negative thoughts or the distraction is, if you don't become your parents, you won't be carrying on the family name. You have to become all that was negative? Can't we just choose the positive from our parents?
That would require the individual to be centered and in their
Be the adult. So are you saying, and I know I interrupted you, but are you saying that when somebody is perpetuating negative behavior, that's toxic? They might not even realize that it's negative or toxic. Maybe they're happy with it. They're fine, you know, kicking the cat. Their parents kick the cat, they kick the cat. They're fine doing something that somebody else finds objectionable. And somebody else says, your parent did that. Why are you doing that? You promised to never do that, maybe a spouse. And then you take a look at it. You either want to keep doing it or you want to stop. I think what you're saying is that if you keep doing it, that's a way of honoring your parents. If you stop doing it, you are not carrying forward the family tradition. And you have to pick, if you're doing that, that's the child. So if you break the pattern,
in both cases,
it's still the child. You're either carrying forward the family tradition,
the same
or you are breaking the family tradition and feeling badly about it. But if you break the family tradition, if it was negative as an adult, or you continue a family tradition that was positive, you're doing that as the adult.
And if you can do it as the adult and resolve the negative vibes and energy and aspects that were given to you when you were a child, if you can do that as the adult, you are truly honoring your parents with the tools they gave you to become the adult.
That is a great point. So I'm going to leave the audience with, any listeners, are you choosing your mentors wisely? Do you forgive your parents by making the same errors? Do you have compassion for your parents and show it by making poor choices or wise choices that work well for you? And if you judge that whatever you're doing is not in keeping with your spirit, what are you doing about it? What steps are you taking to learn, change, or grow out of that pattern? And according to Dr. Cohen, if you are questioning yourself in this way, we would say that's the adult. And if we're frightened or hiding, we would say that that would be the child.
Right.
Thank you so much. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Please send your questions and any other ideas for additional fireside chats. We really appreciate your watching. Have a beautiful day.